There are moments in life when silence is the most powerful thing you can offer, even though it may feel like speaking up is the only option. Our words carry weight, and once spoken, they can't be taken back. What we say, how we say it, and when we say it, can either build relationships or tear them down. More often than not, it is in the heat of the moment that our impulse to speak can betray us, leading to outcomes that cause regret and unnecessary tension. We've all been there, feeling that urge to defend ourselves in an argument or explain something when emotions are high. The need to respond when someone has wronged us, criticized us, or tried to drag us into their negativity can feel overwhelming. But the truth is, sometimes the best answer is no answer at all. It may feel uncomfortable at first. It may feel unnatural. But mastering the art of staying silent at the right moment is not only a sign of wisdom, but of emotional strength. In today's fast-paced world, filled with constant noise and endless distractions, we are conditioned to respond instantly. We are bombarded with opinions, criticisms, and judgments, and it feels like we must always defend our position. But what if the strongest position we can take is to remain quiet, not out of fear or weakness, but out of strength and the deep understanding that not every battle is worth fighting? In fact, some battles aren't battles at all. They're traps designed to pull you into negativity, to drain your energy, and to make you lose sight of your peace. You may ask yourself, why is silence so powerful? Silence is not just the absence of noise. Silence is a strategy. It allows you to hold space for your thoughts, to reflect on what really matters, and to avoid speaking words that might cause harm or escalate a situation. It takes real control to hold your tongue when your heart is racing and your mind is burning with things you want to say. But in that silence, you create room for clarity, for peace, and for strength to rise above the noise of conflict. In those moments when words threaten to burst out in anger, frustration, or defense, the wisdom to stay quiet is a discipline. It's the ability to know that your peace is more valuable than proving a point or winning an argument. The rush to speak often leads to regret. How many times have you wished you could take back something said in the heat of the moment? But the damage is done. Words have a lasting impact, and the scars they leave can take time to heal. Staying silent in those moments can prevent wounds that may never fully close. Think about those situations where someone is provoking you, testing your patience, or dragging you into a toxic conversation. Responding may feel justified, but by doing so, you give away your power. Silence, on the other hand, keeps you in control. It keeps your energy intact, your peace unshaken. And while silence may be misunderstood by others, it often says more than words ever could. It communicates restraint, maturity, and a refusal to be pulled into negativity. This isn't about suppressing your feelings or never speaking up for yourself. It's about knowing when to speak and when to remain silent. When you speak from a place of calm and reflection, your words carry more weight. But when you speak impulsively, out of anger or frustration, your words lose their value. They can become tools of destruction instead of tools for building understanding or resolving conflict. Silence gives you the time to choose your words wisely. It allows you to respond thoughtfully rather than react emotionally. In today's world, where we are encouraged to voice every thought, opinion, and feeling in real time, silence has become a lost art. We are pressured to respond immediately to texts, emails, social media comments, and the countless interruptions that fill our day. But in that rush, we lose something vital: the space to reflect, to breathe, to assess the situation from a place of wisdom instead of emotion. Silence provides that space. It allows you to step back, gather your thoughts, and decide if speaking is even necessary. Silence also protects your relationships. There will always be moments when emotions run high, whether with a partner, family member, friend, or colleague. In these moments, speaking without thinking can lead to words that cut deep, that damage trust, and that hurt the people we care about most. But by staying silent, by pausing before speaking, you show respect not just for the other person, but for the relationship itself. You give space for tempers to cool, for understanding to be restored, and for solutions to be found without the destructive power of hurtful words. There is real strength in knowing when to speak and when to hold your peace. The person who can remain silent in moments of chaos, conflict, or provocation is someone who understands the power of self-control. It is easy to speak without thinking. It is much harder to stay silent and allow the storm to pass. But in that silence, you find a power that words often cannot provide. The power to remain centered, to rise above the chaos, and to maintain your peace. It's not just about staying silent in conflict or arguments. Silence is also a powerful tool for your own growth and self-awareness. In silence, you can hear your own thoughts more clearly. You can reflect on your actions, your goals, and your values without the noise of the outside world clouding your judgment. Silence gives you the space to focus inward, to listen to your inner wisdom, and to cultivate a deeper understanding of yourself. In a world that never stops talking, the ability to sit in silence is a rare and precious gift. By learning to embrace silence, you gain control over your reactions, your emotions, and your life. You no longer feel the need to fill every gap with words, to defend yourself against every criticism, or to prove yourself in every situation. You realize that your value is not determined by how much you say, but by how you choose to act and respond. Silence is a choice, a powerful one that allows you to protect your energy, maintain your peace, and avoid unnecessary conflict. As you begin to practice silence, you will start to see its effects in every area of your life. Conflicts that once seemed overwhelming will begin to lose their power over you. Relationships that were strained will start to heal as you learn to listen more and speak less. You will find that you have more control over your emotions and reactions, and that peace, rather than tension, becomes your natural state. This isn't about withdrawing from the world or avoiding difficult conversations. It's about choosing when to engage and when to protect your peace by staying quiet. In moments when you feel the urge to speak, ask yourself, is this the best time? Will my words bring resolution, or will they create more conflict? Am I speaking from a place of calm and wisdom, or from a place of anger and frustration? These questions will guide you in knowing when to stay silent and when to speak, helping you to protect your peace, your relationships, and your well-being. So, take a breath. Hold your tongue. Let the power of silence work in your favor. You'll be amazed at the peace it brings and the strength it unlocks within you. Silence is not the absence of speech. It is the presence of wisdom, control, and calm. And in a world that never stops talking, those who know when to stay quiet are the ones who truly hold the power. Now that we've laid the foundation of understanding the power of silence, let's dive deeper into real-life situations where this ancient wisdom can protect you from unnecessary turmoil. In a world that constantly pushes us to react, respond, and prove ourselves, knowing when to hold back becomes a crucial skill. This is not just about staying quiet for the sake of peace, but learning the delicate art of when silence becomes a shield, a tool for maintaining your inner strength and dignity. There are moments where saying nothing is the wisest choice, not because you don't have something to say, but because speaking would serve no purpose other than to create more tension. Often, silence can be your best response when someone's words are designed to provoke you. When a person is driven by anger or frustration, they aren't looking for a genuine conversation. Instead, they are seeking to release their emotions, and by staying quiet, you avoid feeding into the fire. It's in these heated exchanges that silence demonstrates your control over the situation, allowing the moment to pass without escalating the conflict. Anger is a tricky emotion, and speaking from a place of rage can lead to words we later regret. The heat of the moment makes it tempting to defend, retaliate, or prove a point, but once those words are out, they can't be taken back. What could have been resolved with a calm mind instead becomes a prolonged argument because of hastily spoken words. Silence gives you the time to cool down, think clearly, and then decide whether the situation even requires a response. When someone criticizes you or points out your flaws, your instinct might be to defend yourself. It's human nature to protect one's ego, but not every criticism deserves a rebuttal. Sometimes silence speaks volumes. By not reacting immediately, you give yourself the chance to assess the situation more objectively. Are their words worth your energy? Do they truly reflect who you are, or are they simply a projection of their insecurities? Often, by remaining silent, you demonstrate a quiet confidence that shows you are secure enough not to be rattled by others' opinions. Conversations are powerful, but so is the ability to listen. Many conflicts arise not because of what is said, but because of a failure to understand the other person's perspective. By staying silent, you give yourself the chance to truly hear what the other person is saying. In that silence, you can gather valuable insights into their emotions, intentions, and needs. Rather than rushing to offer your opinion, listening deeply strengthens your relationships by showing respect and empathy. In moments of emotional turmoil, silence offers a sanctuary. Whether it's a heated argument with a loved one or a difficult situation at work, reacting in the moment often leads to saying things we don't mean. But when you allow silence to settle over the situation, you give yourself space to process what's happening. You gain the ability to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively, preserving relationships and protecting your peace of mind. Words hold power, but sometimes that power is best left untouched. When dealing with toxic people or negative energy, engaging in verbal exchanges can feel like sinking into quicksand. The more you struggle, the deeper you get pulled in. Toxic individuals thrive on chaos, and by staying silent, you deny them the fuel they need to continue. Silence becomes a boundary, a way to shield yourself from the drama without contributing to it. There are times when silence is the only way to protect your energy. Every interaction has the potential to either drain or uplift you, and by carefully choosing when to speak, you maintain control over your emotional well-being. Not every comment, every insult, or every slight needs your attention. Sometimes the best thing you can do is let it pass without a word. In that silence, you safeguard your peace, refusing to allow the negativity of others to disrupt your balance. Arguments often start with a single word, but can spiral out of control with each response. In the heat of the moment, both sides may feel justified in their positions, but as the argument escalates, it becomes less about resolution and more about winning. By staying quiet, you disrupt the cycle of conflict. You remove the fuel from the fire and allow space for calmness to return. Sometimes, silence is the key to de-escalating a situation before it turns into a full-blown argument. One of the most important lessons silence teaches is patience. When you refrain from speaking, you learn to sit with your emotions rather than acting on them impulsively. This practice strengthens your ability to remain calm in stressful situations. You begin to understand that not every moment requires a response, and not every situation needs to be fixed immediately. In patience, you find the clarity to make better decisions and approach problems with a clear mind. In relationships, silence can serve as a form of respect. Sometimes people don't need advice or feedback, they just need someone to listen. By offering your silence, you create a safe space for the other person to express themselves fully without feeling judged or interrupted. This builds trust and deepens the connection as they feel heard and understood. Silence becomes a gift, one that shows you value their thoughts and emotions without needing to impose your own. Keeping quiet doesn't mean suppressing your feelings or ignoring your needs. It means choosing your battles wisely. Not everything needs to be addressed immediately, and not every slight deserves a reaction. Silence gives you the chance to weigh the situation, to ask yourself whether it's truly worth your energy. Often, you'll find that what seemed urgent in the heat of the moment no longer feels significant once you've given it time to breathe. Silence is not just about withholding speech. It's about practicing restraint in every aspect of life. In a world that constantly urges us to react, silence becomes a powerful act of defiance. It's a way of saying that you won't be pulled into chaos or negativity. You are in control of your actions, your emotions, and your words. And in that control, you find freedom. Freedom from the need to explain yourself, to prove your point, or to engage in unnecessary conflict. There are times when silence is a form of strength. It takes courage to stay quiet when everything inside you wants to speak. It takes wisdom to know that some situations are best left unaddressed. And it takes emotional maturity to realize that your peace is more valuable than the fleeting satisfaction of a verbal victory. In these moments, silence becomes your greatest ally, a shield that protects you from the chaos of the world around you. When dealing with manipulative individuals, silence can be your best weapon. Manipulators thrive on your reactions. They seek to control the conversation and twist your words to suit their agenda. But by staying silent, you deny them the opportunity to manipulate you. Your silence frustrates their attempts to control the situation, and in that frustration, they often reveal their true intentions. Silence, in this case, is not weakness, but a form of resistance. In moments of uncertainty, when you're unsure of how to respond, silence gives you the time to reflect. Speaking too quickly can lead to misunderstandings, miscommunications, and mistakes. But when you pause, when you allow silence to settle in, you gain the space to think clearly. You give yourself the chance to gather your thoughts, to assess the situation from a place of calm, and to decide how best to move forward. One of the greatest benefits of silence is the way it allows you to tune out the noise of the world and listen to your own inner voice. In a society that is constantly vying for your attention, silence becomes a refuge. It's in the quiet moments that you can reconnect with yourself, assess your values, and gain clarity on your goals. Silence helps you drown out the distractions and focus on what truly matters. Silence is also a way to maintain your dignity. In situations where you feel disrespected or belittled, it's tempting to lash out, to defend yourself with sharp words. But by staying silent, you refuse to lower yourself to their level. You hold on to your dignity and self-respect, showing that their words have no power over you. Silence in these moments is a reflection of your inner strength and your refusal to be dragged into negativity. Conflict often stems from misunderstandings, and sometimes speaking too quickly can make things worse. But when you choose to stay quiet, you give the situation time to resolve itself. Emotions cool, perspectives shift, and what once felt urgent no longer seems important. In these moments, silence acts as a balm, allowing healing and resolution to occur naturally without the need for harsh words. Silence is not just about what you don't say to others, but also what you don't say to yourself. Negative self-talk can be just as damaging as harsh words from others. But by practicing silence in your inner dialogue, you can begin to quiet those negative thoughts and replace them with peace. In the stillness, you find the strength to let go of self-doubt and embrace self-compassion. In professional settings, silence can be a powerful tool for negotiation. Sometimes, saying less gives you more leverage. It allows the other person to reveal their position while you maintain control of the conversation. By staying quiet, you create space for them to offer more, to adjust their expectations, or to reconsider their stance. Silence in these situations becomes a strategic advantage. Learning to stay silent in moments of stress is one of the most important skills you can develop. When tension is high, speaking out of frustration can lead to mistakes, misunderstandings, and regret. But by practicing silence, you create a buffer between your emotions and your actions. You allow yourself the time to calm down, to think clearly, and to respond from a place of wisdom rather than emotion. In personal relationships, silence can be a way to show respect for the other person's feelings. Sometimes, what they need most is not advice or solutions, but simply someone who will listen. By offering your silence, you allow them the space to express themselves fully without feeling judged or rushed. This builds trust and deepens your connection, as they know they can come to you without fear of being interrupted or criticized. Silence is also a way to avoid unnecessary conflict. Not every disagreement needs to turn into an argument, and not every criticism requires a defense. By staying quiet, you allow the situation to de-escalate naturally. You give yourself the time to assess whether it's worth engaging, and often you'll find that the best response is no response at all. Ultimately, silence is a form of self-care. It's a way of protecting your energy, your peace, and your well-being in a world that is constantly demanding more from you. By learning to stay quiet in the right moments, you gain control over your life, your relationships, and your emotions. And in that control, you find a sense of freedom and inner peace that no words could ever provide. As we close the chapter on the power of silence in difficult situations, it becomes clear that silence isn't just a temporary solution for conflict. It's a strategy deeply rooted in the philosophy of Stoicism. It's more than holding your tongue. It's about creating inner peace and maintaining control in a world that constantly tests your emotional strength. Silence, in its most powerful form, becomes a shield, not just against others, but against your own impulsive reactions. In Stoicism, silence is seen as more than the absence of speech. It is an intentional act, one that allows you to remain centered no matter what external forces are at play. By choosing to be silent, you assert control over your emotions. When others expect you to react, when circumstances seem to demand a response, your silence speaks louder than any words could. It signals that you are not easily moved, not easily provoked, and most importantly, that you are in charge of your own peace. There is tremendous power in withholding your voice. Speaking out in frustration or anger might give a fleeting sense of relief, but it often leads to deeper problems down the road. Words spoken without thought can fuel misunderstandings and fan the flames of conflict. But when you stay silent, you avoid unnecessary entanglements. You conserve your energy and use it where it truly matters. You become a master of your responses, understanding that sometimes the greatest display of power is to simply say nothing at all. In those moments of silence, you also give yourself the chance to observe more clearly. When you are not focused on how to respond, your mind opens up to see the situation from different angles. You notice details that might have been missed in the heat of an argument. You begin to understand not just the words of others, but their motivations, their emotions, and their insecurities. Silence sharpens your perception, allowing you to make better, more informed decisions. Stoicism teaches that true power comes from within, and silence is one of the tools to access that power. By choosing when to speak and when to stay quiet, you are exercising control over your mind and emotions. You are not letting the external world dictate your reactions. Instead, you are using your silence to create space for inner peace. The more you practice this, the more you realize that silence is not a sign of passivity, but of strength. It shows that you don't need to engage in every conflict, that you are secure enough to hold back when necessary. Many people believe that power comes from being loud, from asserting dominance with words. But Stoicism teaches that real power comes from restraint. When you can control your impulse to speak, especially when provoked, you demonstrate true strength. It takes far more discipline to stay quiet than it does to lash out. And in that discipline, you find a deeper sense of power, one that is not dependent on others' reactions, but on your own ability to remain calm and collected. The world often mistakes silence for weakness, but those who understand its true power know that it is the opposite. It is easy to get swept up in the chaos of life, to react without thinking. But silence forces you to pause, to reflect, and to consider the bigger picture. It allows you to maintain your composure in situations where others might lose theirs. This composure becomes your greatest asset, as it helps you navigate challenges with clarity and wisdom. Silence is also a form of protection. By staying quiet in certain situations, you shield yourself from unnecessary drama. You create a boundary between yourself and the chaos of others. In this way, silence becomes a buffer, a protective layer that keeps you from getting too involved in conflicts that don't serve your well-being. You learn to pick your battles wisely, and in doing so, you conserve your emotional energy for what truly matters. This control over your emotions is a key component of Stoic philosophy. Stoicism teaches that external events are beyond our control, but our reactions to them are fully within our grasp. Silence gives you the space to exercise this control. It helps you to remain calm, even when the world around you is chaotic. In moments of crisis, when everyone else is losing their cool, your silence keeps you grounded. It allows you to respond with intention rather than react impulsively. Through silence, you also develop a deeper sense of self-awareness. The more you practice staying quiet, the more in tune you become with your own thoughts and feelings. You begin to notice patterns in your reactions, understanding what triggers you and why. This self-awareness is crucial for emotional growth, as it allows you to address the root causes of your stress and anxiety rather than getting caught up in superficial conflicts. When you hold back from speaking, especially in situations of high tension, you give yourself the opportunity to process your emotions fully. Instead of reacting immediately, you allow the initial surge of anger or frustration to pass. This gives you the clarity to decide whether speaking is even necessary. Often, you'll find that what seemed urgent in the heat of the moment no longer feels important once you've had time to cool down. Silence helps you avoid impulsive decisions that could have long-lasting negative consequences. Silence is also a way to demonstrate respect, both for yourself and for others. By not engaging in unnecessary arguments or conflicts, you show that you value your peace above all else. You refuse to let others pull you into their negativity or drama. This refusal is a powerful statement, one that shows you are not easily manipulated or swayed by others' emotions. It is a form of self-respect that others cannot take from you. Moreover, silence allows you to observe the behavior of others without being distracted by your own need to respond. When you are silent, you notice things that would have gone unnoticed had you been too focused on crafting a reply. You become a better judge of character, understanding not just what people say, but what they don't say. Silence heightens your awareness, giving you an advantage in understanding the dynamics at play. This practice of silence also fosters patience. In a world that demands instant reactions, learning to stay quiet teaches you to slow down. It encourages you to take your time, to reflect before acting. Patience, in turn, helps you to make better decisions, ones that are rooted in wisdom rather than emotion. By cultivating patience through silence, you become more thoughtful, more intentional, and more strategic in how you approach challenges. Silence also teaches you the value of words. The more you practice staying quiet, the more you realize that not everything needs to be said. You begin to choose your words carefully, understanding that they carry weight and can either build or destroy relationships. Silence helps you to refine your speech, making your words more meaningful when you do decide to speak. In moments of conflict, silence can act as a form of de-escalation. When you refuse to engage in the heat of the moment, you give the other person the opportunity to reflect on their own behavior. Your silence creates a pause in the conversation, allowing tempers to cool. This pause often leads to a more productive discussion once both parties have had time to calm down. Silence in this way becomes a tool for resolution rather than conflict. The practice of silence also helps you to develop emotional resilience. The more you resist the urge to react, the stronger you become in handling difficult situations. You learn to tolerate discomfort, to sit with your emotions rather than letting them dictate your actions. This resilience allows you to navigate life's challenges with greater ease, knowing that you have the strength to remain calm in the face of adversity. Silence is also a way to protect your reputation. In moments of conflict, words spoken in anger can damage your relationships and your standing with others. But by staying silent, you avoid saying things you might later regret. You maintain your dignity, showing that you are not easily provoked. Over time, this restraint earns you the respect of others, as they come to see you as someone who is calm, composed, and wise in their actions. One of the most powerful aspects of silence is the way it fosters inner peace. When you are not constantly reacting to the world around you, you create space for stillness within yourself. This stillness allows you to connect with your deeper sense of purpose, to reflect on your values, and to align your actions with your beliefs. Silence helps you to stay true to yourself, even in the midst of external chaos. Through the practice of silence, you also learn to let go of the need to control others. You realize that you cannot change how others think, feel, or behave, but you can control how you respond. Silence frees you from the burden of trying to manage others' emotions, allowing you to focus on your own well-being. This shift in perspective helps you to let go of unnecessary stress and anxiety. Silence also teaches you the importance of timing. There are moments when speaking is necessary, but knowing when to speak is just as important as knowing what to say. By practicing silence, you develop a sense of timing, understanding when your words will have the most impact. This timing allows you to be more effective in your communication, making your words more powerful when you do choose to speak. Through silence, you also cultivate humility. By staying quiet, you acknowledge that you don't always have the answers, and that sometimes listening is more valuable than speaking. This humility fosters a deeper connection with others, as it shows that you are open to learning from their experiences and perspectives. Silence, in this way, becomes a bridge that connects you to others on a more meaningful level. The practice of silence also helps you to stay grounded in your values. In a world that constantly tries to pull you in different directions, silence gives you the space to reflect on what truly matters. It allows you to tune out the noise of external opinions and focus on your own inner voice. This grounding helps you to stay true to yourself, even when others try to sway you with their words. Through silence, you also learn to embrace discomfort. There will be moments when staying quiet feels challenging, when you want to speak out, but know it's not the right time. In these moments, silence teaches you to sit with the discomfort, to tolerate the tension, and to find peace within yourself. This ability to embrace discomfort is a powerful tool for personal growth, as it helps you to build emotional resilience and strength. Finally, silence is a practice that leads to wisdom. The more you cultivate it, the more you realize that silence is not about absence, but about presence. It is about being fully present in the moment, listening deeply to yourself and others, and responding from a place of calm and clarity. Through silence, you unlock a deeper sense of peace, power, and purpose, allowing you to navigate life with greater ease and grace. Having explored the profound power of silence in creating emotional control and inner peace, it's important to recognize how silence can save us from moments that often lead to regret. Emotional outbursts, fueled by anger, frustration, or pain, tend to cloud our judgment, making us say things we later wish we hadn't. In the heat of those moments, silence becomes the ultimate shield, protecting both your relationships and your sense of integrity. The ability to pause, to hold back, to stay silent during emotional turbulence is not just a strategy. It's a safeguard against damaging what matters most. In the throes of intense emotion, it's easy to believe that expressing our feelings immediately will provide relief. But far too often, speaking from a place of anger only serves to deepen wounds. Words spoken in haste are like arrows shot without aim, hitting targets we never intended. Silence, on the other hand, allows you to hold back from releasing those sharp, unfiltered emotions. It gives you the space to gather your thoughts, letting the storm pass without causing unnecessary harm. When emotions are high, judgment is often low. That's why staying silent during emotional outbursts is not a sign of suppression, but of wisdom. It gives you the chance to pause and reflect on what you're truly feeling and whether expressing it will help or harm the situation. Silence in this context becomes an act of self-preservation. It allows you to distance yourself from the immediate emotion and assess the bigger picture. There is a natural tendency to justify every feeling that arises, but not every feeling needs a voice. Emotions are transient, and what feels overwhelming in one moment may feel trivial just minutes later. When you react impulsively, you give those temporary feelings too much power. Silence helps you ride out the emotional wave, letting it pass without leaving a trail of destruction. You realize that most conflicts can be avoided by simply allowing emotions to settle before choosing how to respond. One of the most damaging effects of emotional outbursts is the way they erode trust. When you speak from a place of anger, frustration, or hurt, you risk saying things that your loved ones will remember long after the moment has passed. While you may later apologize, the impact of those words often lingers. Silence offers a way to protect your relationships from unnecessary strain. By choosing not to speak in those heated moments, you preserve the bond and avoid creating wounds that could take time to heal. Silence in times of emotional intensity also allows you to maintain your dignity. When you stay quiet during an argument or confrontation, you show that you are in control of yourself, even if the other person is not. This restraint often diffuses the situation more effectively than any words could. It demonstrates strength, showing that you value peace over the fleeting satisfaction of having the last word. In doing so, you retain your self-respect, even when faced with provocation. There's a common misconception that staying silent during emotional moments is the same as bottling up your feelings. But this is not about repressing your emotions. It's about choosing when and how to express them. Silence gives you the chance to process your feelings before sharing them in a calm and constructive way. When you wait for the right moment, your words carry more meaning and are more likely to be heard and understood. In situations where anger flares up unexpectedly, staying silent prevents the situation from escalating. Reacting impulsively often leads to a back-and-forth exchange that fuels the fire, making it difficult to resolve the issue. But when you choose silence, you create space for calm to return. This space allows both parties to step back, reflect, and approach the situation with clearer minds. Silence, in this way, acts as a cooling balm, preventing the argument from spiraling out of control. Over time, practicing silence during emotional outbursts teaches you the value of patience. You begin to see that not every feeling needs to be acted upon immediately. In fact, most emotional reactions benefit from time and space. By waiting before responding, you give yourself the opportunity to reflect on what truly matters. Often, the things that seemed so urgent in the moment lose their intensity once the emotions have cooled. Silence also prevents the kind of regret that lingers long after the outburst is over. We've all experienced that sinking feeling after saying something in anger, knowing that we can't take it back. Those moments of regret can weigh heavily on the heart, straining relationships and creating emotional distance. But by staying silent, you avoid these regrets. You protect yourself from the pain of knowing that you've hurt someone with words you didn't truly mean. When you pause instead of reacting, you give yourself time to evaluate whether your response will contribute to a solution or create more conflict. Emotional outbursts are often reactive and thoughtless, focused on releasing pent-up frustration rather than resolving the underlying issue. Silence allows you to step back, think through your response, and consider the long-term impact of your words. It gives you the clarity to choose a response that aligns with your values and preserves your peace. In relationships, silence during emotional outbursts can be a sign of respect. By choosing not to speak in anger, you show that you care enough about the other person to protect the relationship from unnecessary harm. You demonstrate that you are willing to prioritize the health of the relationship over the need to vent your emotions in the moment. This respect builds trust and creates a foundation of mutual understanding that strengthens the bond over time. Staying silent in moments of emotional turbulence also allows you to protect your own energy. Emotional outbursts are draining, both for the person expressing the emotion and for the person on the receiving end. By choosing silence, you conserve your energy and avoid getting pulled into the emotional vortex. This helps you stay grounded and centered, even when the situation around you is chaotic. One of the key lessons Stoicism teaches is that we cannot control what others do, but we can control how we respond. Silence is the ultimate expression of this principle. When someone provokes you or pushes your buttons, staying silent is a way of exercising control over yourself. It shows that you are not at the mercy of others' actions or words, but that you are in charge of your own reactions. This control is a source of great strength and inner peace. Silence also gives you the opportunity to listen more deeply. In moments of conflict, when emotions are running high, we often focus so much on what we want to say that we stop listening to the other person. But by staying quiet, you give yourself the chance to truly hear what they are saying. This listening can reveal underlying emotions, unspoken needs, or hidden tensions that may have been missed in the heat of the moment. In this way, silence becomes a tool for greater understanding and empathy. When you choose silence over emotional outbursts, you also create space for self-reflection. Instead of reacting impulsively, you have the time to ask yourself why you are feeling the way you do. What is the root cause of your frustration or anger? Is it something external, or is it coming from within? Silence allows you to dig deeper, uncovering the true source of your emotions and addressing it in a more thoughtful and productive way. Practicing silence during emotional moments also helps you to develop emotional resilience. The more you resist the urge to react impulsively, the stronger you become in managing your emotions. You learn that feelings of anger or frustration are temporary and that they can pass without the need for immediate expression. This resilience allows you to navigate difficult situations with greater ease, knowing that you have the ability to stay calm and centered even in the face of intense emotions. Silence can also serve as a way to de-escalate your own internal emotional state. When you refrain from speaking during a moment of anger or frustration, you give yourself the chance to calm down. The act of staying quiet helps to slow your racing thoughts, lower your heart rate, and bring your emotions back into balance. In this sense, silence becomes a form of self-soothing, helping you to regain control over your emotional state. In moments of intense emotion, it's easy to feel like you are justified in expressing your anger, but justification does not always lead to resolution. Just because you feel a certain way doesn't mean that expressing it will help the situation. Silence helps you to separate your emotions from your actions, allowing you to choose responses that are productive rather than reactive. This separation is crucial for avoiding the kind of emotional outbursts that lead to regret. Silence also protects your relationships from the long-term damage that emotional outbursts can cause. When you react in anger, you risk saying things that may be forgiven but not forgotten. Those words can linger in the minds of your loved ones, creating a lasting impact that may be difficult to repair. By staying silent in those heated moments, you protect the relationship from unnecessary harm, preserving the trust and connection that you've worked hard to build. Over time, practicing silence during emotional outbursts helps you to develop a greater sense of emotional maturity. You begin to realize that not every feeling needs to be expressed, and that sometimes the best way to handle a situation is to let it pass without reacting. This maturity allows you to navigate relationships with greater grace and wisdom, avoiding unnecessary conflicts and building deeper, more meaningful connections. Staying silent during moments of anger also helps you to maintain your personal integrity. When you react impulsively, you risk acting in ways that don't align with your values. But by choosing silence, you give yourself the chance to respond in a way that reflects your true self. You stay true to who you are, even in moments of emotional intensity, and this integrity becomes a source of strength and self-respect. One of the greatest gifts that silence offers is the ability to pause. In a world that encourages constant reaction, silence allows you to step back and create space between the stimulus and your response. This pause gives you the power to choose how you want to react, rather than being swept up in the emotional current. It is in this pause that you find clarity, wisdom, and the ability to avoid regret. Through the practice of silence, you learn that emotional outbursts are often a sign of unresolved inner conflict. When you stay silent, you give yourself the chance to explore what's really going on beneath the surface. You begin to understand that the anger or frustration you feel may have less to do with the external situation and more to do with something internal. Silence helps you to uncover these deeper truths, leading to greater self-awareness and emotional healing. Silence also helps you to build stronger relationships by fostering a sense of emotional safety. When you refrain from reacting in anger, you create an environment where the other person feels safe to express themselves without fear of being attacked or judged. This emotional safety is crucial for building trust and intimacy in relationships, as it allows both parties to feel heard and understood without the threat of conflict. Choosing silence during emotional outbursts also helps you to avoid saying things that you don't truly mean. In the heat of the moment, it's easy to let hurtful words slip out, but once they are said, they can't be taken back. Silence protects you from this risk, allowing you to pause and reflect on whether what you want to say is truly aligned with your values and your intentions. Silence during moments of emotional intensity also helps you to cultivate a sense of inner peace. When you stay quiet, you refuse to let external circumstances dictate your emotional state. You create a buffer between yourself and the chaos of the world around you, maintaining your inner calm even in the face of conflict. This peace becomes a source of strength, allowing you to navigate life's challenges with greater resilience and grace. Practicing silence also helps you to develop empathy. When you refrain from reacting in anger, you give yourself the opportunity to step into the other person's shoes and understand their perspective. This empathy allows you to approach the situation with greater compassion, reducing the likelihood of conflict and fostering a deeper connection. Silence also teaches you the value of letting go. Not every emotional response needs to be acted upon, and not every conflict needs to be resolved through words. Sometimes the best way to move forward is to let the situation pass without engaging in it. By staying silent, you learn to release the need to control every outcome, trusting that some things are best left unspoken. In the end, silence is a gift you give to yourself. It protects you from the pain of regret, the strain of unnecessary conflict, and the damage of emotional outbursts. It allows you to maintain your peace, preserve your relationships, and stay true to your values. Through silence, you discover a deeper sense of power and control, one that helps you navigate life with wisdom, grace, and inner strength. As we've explored how silence can prevent regret and protect relationships during emotional outbursts, there is another dimension of silence that Stoicism emphasizes. Knowing when speaking is unnecessary. Life constantly presents us with moments where we feel compelled to voice our opinions, defend ourselves, or engage in debates. However, there are times when speaking only escalates the problem, complicating situations that could have been resolved with silence. Stoicism teaches us the invaluable skill of choosing our battles wisely, understanding when silence can offer more than words. There's a certain peace that comes with realizing not every battle is yours to fight. Often, we get caught up in conflicts that, in the grand scheme of things, don't matter. Engaging in every argument or confrontation drains your energy and leads to a cycle of unnecessary stress. The wisdom to recognize when speaking will do more harm than good comes from an awareness of what's truly important. By refraining from engaging in trivial disputes, you conserve your mental and emotional resources for the things that actually matter. Many arguments begin with small disagreements that spiral out of control because neither side is willing to stay quiet. Instead of finding common ground, the conversation becomes about winning, proving a point, or being right. But Stoicism teaches that being right isn't always the most valuable outcome. Sometimes silence is the path to maintaining peace and avoiding unnecessary tension. By staying silent, you avoid inflaming a situation that could easily escalate into something much larger than it needed to be. There is great wisdom in knowing when to let things go. Many people feel the need to respond to every criticism, every perceived slight, but this only traps them in a cycle of defensiveness. Constantly defending yourself takes a toll on your well-being, making you reactive rather than reflective. Silence, however, gives you the space to assess whether a situation truly warrants a response. In most cases, you'll find that many conflicts resolve themselves when left alone. Silence gives the situation time to diffuse naturally. In many conflicts, the loudest voices are not necessarily the wisest. People often mistake volume and persistence for strength, but true strength lies in the ability to hold your ground quietly. When you choose silence, you don't give away your power to others' provocations. You remain in control of your reactions, showing that you don't need to engage in every confrontation to assert your value. This self-assurance, rooted in Stoicism, allows you to walk away from arguments that would only bring unnecessary chaos into your life. Choosing silence over argument doesn't mean you're surrendering or letting others win. Instead, it shows a deeper understanding of the bigger picture. Not every battle is worth fighting, and engaging in every conflict often distracts you from your larger goals and values. By refusing to be drawn into petty arguments, you stay focused on what truly matters to you. Silence in these moments becomes a way of honoring your priorities and protecting your peace. Sometimes, speaking up can complicate things more than silence ever would. There are situations where engaging only deepens misunderstandings or creates more division. But when you stay silent, you avoid adding fuel to the fire. Silence creates space for reflection, both for you and for others involved. It allows the tension to settle, often resolving conflicts without the need for words. This is one of the most powerful aspects of choosing your battles, understanding that not every conflict needs to be resolved through confrontation. People often speak in moments of anger or frustration, believing that expressing their emotions will lead to resolution. But Stoicism teaches us that words spoken in anger rarely bring peace. More often than not, they escalate the situation, creating more conflict and confusion. Silence, on the other hand, gives you the time to let emotions cool before deciding whether the issue truly needs to be addressed. In many cases, staying quiet during these heated moments is the best way to prevent a minor issue from turning into a major conflict. Choosing when to stay silent is also a way to protect your emotional energy. Every argument, every debate, and every confrontation requires mental and emotional investment. If you engage in every conflict that comes your way, you quickly deplete your energy reserves, leaving little room for the things that truly matter in your life. Silence acts as a filter, allowing you to conserve your energy for the battles that are actually worth fighting. There is a freedom that comes with the realization that you don't need to respond to everything. Stoicism encourages you to reflect on the bigger picture and recognize when speaking will only entangle you further in conflict. When you choose silence, you let go of the need to prove yourself, defend your reputation, or argue every point. This freedom allows you to focus on what truly brings you peace and fulfillment, rather than getting caught up in the noise of endless debates. Many people feel the need to defend themselves when they are criticized, but not all criticism requires a response. Silence, in these moments, can be a powerful tool for self-preservation. By choosing not to engage, you protect yourself from the emotional toll of defensiveness. You also demonstrate that you are confident enough in yourself that you don't need to respond to every negative comment or opinion. This quiet confidence often speaks louder than any words could. In social settings, there are often moments when conversations turn into debates or conflicts that serve no purpose. These situations can quickly become draining, pulling you into arguments that leave you feeling exhausted and frustrated. By recognizing when speaking will only exacerbate the issue, you can choose to step back and remain silent. This choice not only protects your peace, but also helps to de-escalate the situation for everyone involved. Silence also allows you to avoid being pulled into the emotional drama of others. There are people who thrive on conflict, seeking out arguments and disagreements to create chaos. Engaging with these individuals only feeds into their need for attention and drama, but by staying silent, you refuse to give them the reaction they seek. This refusal often frustrates them, leading them to disengage. In this way, silence becomes a powerful way to protect yourself from toxic dynamics. One of the key lessons of Stoicism is that peace comes from within. When you engage in every argument or debate, you give away your peace to external circumstances. But by choosing silence, you retain control over your internal state. You show that your peace is not dependent on winning arguments or proving others wrong. This inner peace becomes a source of strength, allowing you to navigate conflicts with clarity and calm. Choosing your battles wisely also helps you to stay focused on your goals. Every time you engage in a conflict, you divert your attention and energy away from the things that matter most to you. Silence helps you to stay on track, avoiding the distractions of unnecessary arguments. It allows you to stay committed to your larger purpose, rather than getting bogged down in trivial disputes. Silence can also serve as a way to build stronger relationships. Not every disagreement needs to be turned into an argument, and sometimes the best way to maintain a healthy relationship is to let things go. By choosing not to engage in minor conflicts, you show that you value the relationship more than the need to be right. This creates a foundation of trust and understanding, allowing both parties to feel safe and respected. There is a certain grace that comes with the ability to walk away from unnecessary conflict. Stoicism teaches that true strength lies in the ability to remain calm and composed, even when others are trying to provoke you. By choosing silence, you demonstrate that you are in control of yourself and that you won't be pulled into arguments that don't serve your higher purpose. This grace not only protects your peace, but also earns you the respect of others. Many conflicts arise because people feel the need to respond immediately. But Stoicism encourages patience, reminding you that not every issue needs to be addressed in the moment. By choosing silence, you give yourself time to reflect on the situation, allowing emotions to settle before deciding whether the issue truly needs to be addressed. Often, you'll find that what seemed urgent in the moment no longer feels important once you've had time to think. Silence also helps you to avoid misunderstandings. When emotions are high, words can easily be misinterpreted, leading to further confusion and conflict. But by staying quiet, you create space for clarity. You give both yourself and others the opportunity to reflect on the situation without the pressure of immediate response. This clarity often leads to a deeper understanding, allowing the conflict to resolve itself without the need for heated discussion. In many situations, silence is a form of strength. It takes far more discipline to stay quiet than it does to react impulsively. When you choose silence, you are exercising control over yourself, refusing to let external circumstances dictate your actions. This self-control not only helps you to avoid unnecessary conflict, but also strengthens your ability to navigate difficult situations with grace and composure. By staying silent in moments of potential conflict, you also create space for others to reflect on their own behavior. When people are met with silence rather than confrontation, they often have the opportunity to consider their actions more deeply. This reflection can lead to a resolution that might not have been possible if the situation had escalated into an argument. Silence in this way becomes a tool for fostering greater understanding and growth. Choosing silence over argument also helps you to maintain your dignity. When you engage in every conflict, you risk lowering yourself to the level of petty disputes. But by staying silent, you rise above the noise of unnecessary arguments, showing that you are secure enough in yourself that you don't need to prove anything to others. This dignity is a reflection of your inner strength and self-respect. In moments of conflict, there is often a temptation to speak out of anger or frustration. But Stoicism teaches that words spoken in anger rarely lead to resolution. Silence, on the other hand, allows you to pause and reflect before responding. This pause gives you the clarity to decide whether the issue truly needs to be addressed, and if so, how best to approach it. In many cases, you'll find that silence is the most effective way to maintain peace and avoid further conflict. Silence also helps you to avoid getting caught up in the emotions of others. When people are angry or upset, they often try to pull others into their emotional turmoil. Engaging with them only fuels their anger, creating a cycle of conflict that can be difficult to break. But by staying silent, you create a boundary between yourself and their emotions. This boundary protects your peace and prevents you from being drawn into conflicts that don't serve your well-being. Choosing when to speak and when to stay silent is a key component of emotional intelligence. It requires a deep understanding of yourself and others, as well as the ability to assess situations with clarity and wisdom. When you choose silence over unnecessary argument, you demonstrate that you are in control of your emotions and reactions. This emotional intelligence not only helps you to navigate conflicts more effectively, but also fosters deeper, more meaningful relationships. Silence also teaches you the value of listening. In many conflicts, people are so focused on what they want to say that they stop listening to the other person. But by staying silent, you give yourself the opportunity to truly hear what the other person is saying. This listening can reveal underlying emotions, unspoken needs, or hidden tensions that might have been missed in the heat of an argument. In this way, silence becomes a tool for greater understanding and empathy. By choosing silence in moments of conflict, you also create space for self-reflection. Instead of reacting impulsively, you have the time to ask yourself why you are feeling the way you do. What is the root cause of your frustration or anger? Is it something external, or is it coming from within? Silence allows you to dig deeper, uncovering the true source of your emotions and addressing it in a more thoughtful and productive way. Silence also helps you to avoid saying things that you might later regret. In the heat of the moment, it's easy to let hurtful words slip out, but once they are said, they can't be taken back. Silence protects you from this risk, allowing you to pause and reflect on whether what you want to say is truly aligned with your values and your intentions. This reflection often leads to a more thoughtful and constructive response, one that preserves the relationship rather than damaging it. Through the practice of silence, you learn that not every battle is worth fighting. Stoicism teaches that peace comes from within, and that external conflicts only distract you from your larger purpose. By choosing silence over unnecessary argument, you stay focused on what truly matters to you. You protect your peace, conserve your energy, and avoid getting caught up in conflicts that don't serve your well-being. In the end, silence is not about avoiding conflict altogether, but about choosing your battles wisely. It's about understanding when speaking will only create more tension, and when silence can offer a path to peace and resolution. Through the practice of silence, you discover a deeper sense of power and control, one that helps you navigate life's challenges with wisdom, grace, and inner strength. As we've discussed the value of choosing your battles and knowing when to remain silent in conflict, there is another crucial area where silence holds immense power: dealing with negative people. Toxic or manipulative individuals thrive on reactions, feeding off the emotions they provoke in others. For those following Stoic principles, silence becomes not just a tool for self-control, but a shield that protects your energy from being drained by these harmful influences. Understanding how to use silence in these situations is key to outlasting negativity and maintaining your peace. Negative people have a way of drawing others into their emotional storms, whether through constant complaining, manipulation, or provocation. They seek validation for their negativity by trying to pull others down with them. Silence in these moments serves as a powerful defense. By refusing to engage, you deny them the satisfaction of a reaction. This lack of response weakens their influence over you, as they can no longer feed off your emotional energy. In many cases, negative people use manipulation to get what they want, often playing the victim or using guilt as a tool. Engaging with them only validates their behavior, encouraging them to continue. But when you respond with silence, you refuse to participate in their game. This not only protects your own peace, but also sends a clear message: you will not be controlled or swayed by their tactics. Silence in these moments becomes a boundary that shields you from manipulation. Negative individuals often use words as weapons, seeking to provoke an emotional response that pulls you into conflict. But Stoicism teaches that you are in control of your own reactions. By choosing silence, you show that their words hold no power over you. You maintain your composure, demonstrating that you are not easily manipulated or provoked. This silent strength disarms them as they realize their usual methods no longer work. Silence also allows you to protect your mental and emotional energy. Engaging with negative people can be exhausting, as their constant complaints, criticisms, or manipulations drain your resources. By staying quiet, you conserve your energy, refusing to let their negativity affect your inner peace. This act of self-preservation is crucial for maintaining your well-being in the face of toxic behavior. One of the most powerful aspects of silence is that it forces the other person to reflect on their own behavior. When negative individuals are met with silence instead of a reaction, they are left to sit with their own words and actions. This can lead to a moment of self-awareness, as they are no longer able to deflect responsibility onto others. Silence in this way becomes a mirror, reflecting their behavior back to them and encouraging them to reconsider their approach. When dealing with manipulative individuals, silence can be a way to regain control over the situation. Manipulators often thrive on confusion and chaos, using words to distort reality and shift blame. But by staying silent, you refuse to be drawn into their web of manipulation. You remain clear-headed, able to see through their tactics without being emotionally entangled. This clarity allows you to navigate the situation with wisdom and strength, maintaining control over your own actions. Silence also protects you from becoming entangled in other people's drama. Negative people often create unnecessary drama to gain attention or stir up conflict. Engaging with them only pulls you into their chaotic world, leaving you feeling drained and frustrated. But when you choose silence, you refuse to be part of their drama. You stay grounded, preserving your own peace while letting the chaos pass you by. In relationships, silence can be a way to establish healthy boundaries with toxic individuals. Negative people often push boundaries, testing how far they can go in manipulating or controlling others. By staying silent in response to their provocations, you make it clear that you will not tolerate their behavior. This boundary protects you from being drawn into toxic dynamics, allowing you to maintain your emotional independence. Silence can also serve as a way to distance yourself from the constant negativity of others. Negative people often try to bring others down to their level, seeking validation for their pessimism. But when you refuse to engage, you create emotional distance. This distance protects your mindset, allowing you to stay positive and focused on your own growth, rather than being dragged into their negative worldview. Stoicism teaches that peace comes from within, and engaging with negative people often disrupts that peace. Silence, however, keeps you centered. By refusing to respond to their provocations, you remain in control of your emotional state. You don't allow their negativity to influence your mood or disrupt your sense of calm. This inner peace becomes a powerful shield, protecting you from the emotional turmoil that negative people often bring. Dealing with toxic individuals can be particularly challenging when they are close to you, friends, family, or co-workers. In these situations, silence can be a way to maintain the relationship without being overwhelmed by their negativity. By staying quiet in response to their complaints or manipulations, you avoid escalating the situation while protecting your own energy. This balance allows you to coexist without being consumed by their negative influence. There is also great strength in knowing that not every comment or criticism requires a response. Negative people often criticize others as a way to deflect from their own insecurities. Engaging with their criticism only validates their approach, but by staying silent, you show that their words have no impact on you. This silent confidence often unsettles negative individuals, as they realize they cannot control your emotions through their words. Silence also allows you to maintain your dignity in the face of negativity. Engaging in petty arguments or responding to manipulative tactics often lowers you to the level of the toxic individual. But by staying silent, you rise above the negativity. You show that you are in control of yourself and that you won't be dragged into unnecessary conflict. This dignity not only protects your peace, but also earns you the respect of others. Negative people often seek to provoke a reaction in others as a way to validate their own behavior. But when you choose silence, you refuse to give them the satisfaction of a response. This lack of reaction often frustrates them, as they are unable to draw you into their emotional turmoil. Over time, they may even stop trying to provoke you, realizing that their tactics no longer work. In this way, silence becomes a long-term strategy for outlasting negativity. Choosing silence over engagement with toxic individuals also helps you to maintain clarity. When you stay quiet, you give yourself the space to observe the situation from a distance. You can see their behavior for what it truly is, without being emotionally entangled in the conflict. This clarity allows you to make more informed decisions about how to handle the situation, protecting your peace while maintaining control over your actions. In many cases, silence can also protect you from the emotional manipulation that negative people often use. Toxic individuals are skilled at twisting words and distorting reality to make others feel guilty or responsible for their problems. But by staying silent, you refuse to give them the opportunity to manipulate you. You maintain your emotional independence, refusing to be drawn into their web of deceit. Silence can also serve as a way to protect your energy when dealing with complainers. Negative people often complain endlessly, seeking sympathy or validation for their grievances. Engaging with their complaints only drains your energy, leaving you feeling frustrated and overwhelmed. But when you stay quiet, you avoid being pulled into their negativity. This silence acts as a barrier, protecting your energy and allowing you to maintain your focus on more positive aspects of life. Negative people often seek to spread their pessimism to others, hoping to bring everyone down to their level. But Stoicism teaches that you are in control of your own mindset. By choosing silence, you protect your positive outlook from being influenced by their negativity. You refuse to let their complaints, criticisms, or pessimism affect your own peace of mind. In this way, silence becomes a powerful tool for maintaining your own sense of happiness and well-being. There is also a subtle form of power in silence when dealing with toxic individuals. Negative people often thrive on attention, using their words and actions to provoke a reaction from others. But when you choose silence, you deny them that attention. This refusal to engage weakens their hold over you, as they realize that their tactics no longer have the desired effect. Over time, they may even lose interest in trying to provoke you, as they no longer receive the emotional reaction they crave. Silence also helps you to avoid unnecessary conflict with negative people. Toxic individuals often create drama or conflict as a way to stir up emotions and create chaos. Engaging with them only adds fuel to the fire, escalating the situation and making it more difficult to resolve. But by staying quiet, you avoid getting caught up in their drama. You remain calm and composed, allowing the conflict to pass without being drawn into it. In relationships with negative people, silence can also be a way to maintain emotional distance. Toxic individuals often try to blur boundaries, pulling others into their emotional chaos. But by staying silent in response to their provocations, you create a clear boundary. This boundary protects your emotional well-being, allowing you to maintain a healthy distance from their negativity while still preserving the relationship. Silence also gives you the opportunity to reflect on the situation without being overwhelmed by the other person's emotions. Negative people often try to project their emotions onto others, creating a sense of urgency or crisis. But by staying quiet, you give yourself the space to assess the situation calmly. This reflection allows you to see through their tactics, recognizing their behavior for what it truly is, without being emotionally manipulated. In many cases, silence can also serve as a form of self-care when dealing with toxic individuals. Engaging with negative people can be emotionally draining, leaving you feeling depleted and overwhelmed. But by choosing silence, you protect your own well-being. You refuse to let their negativity affect your emotional state, allowing you to maintain your peace and energy. This act of self-care is crucial for protecting your mental and emotional health in the face of toxic behavior. Silence also allows you to maintain control over your own actions when dealing with manipulative individuals. Toxic people often try to provoke a reaction, using words or actions to push your buttons. But by staying quiet, you refuse to give them that control. You remain in charge of your own responses, demonstrating that you are not easily manipulated or swayed by their tactics. This control allows you to navigate the situation with clarity and wisdom. Choosing silence over engagement with toxic individuals also helps you to stay focused on your own growth and goals. Negative people often try to distract others from their own progress, pulling them into conflicts or drama. But by staying quiet, you refuse to be derailed by their negativity. You stay committed to your own path, maintaining focus on what truly matters to you without being drawn into unnecessary distractions. Silence also helps you to avoid becoming reactive when dealing with negative people. Toxic individuals often try to provoke emotional reactions as a way to control the situation. But Stoicism teaches that you are in control of your own emotions. By choosing silence, you refuse to be reactive, staying calm and centered even in the face of provocation. This composure allows you to navigate the situation with grace, avoiding the emotional turbulence that negative people often create. In relationships with toxic individuals, silence can also serve as a way to protect your own sense of self-worth. Negative people often use criticism or manipulation to undermine the confidence of others. Engaging with their negativity only gives their words power, but by staying silent, you show that their opinions have no impact on your self-esteem. This silent confidence protects your sense of self-worth, allowing you to maintain a strong and positive self-image, even in the face of criticism. There is also a sense of liberation that comes with choosing silence over engagement with negative people. Toxic individuals often try to control others through manipulation or emotional coercion. But when you choose silence, you free yourself from their influence. You no longer feel the need to respond to their provocations or defend yourself against their criticisms. This freedom allows you to live on your own terms, without being weighed down by the negativity of others. Silence also allows you to maintain a sense of inner peace when dealing with toxic individuals. Negative people often create emotional chaos, pulling others into their storm of negativity. But Stoicism teaches that peace comes from within, and silence helps you to protect that peace. By staying quiet, you refuse to let their chaos disrupt your calm. This inner peace becomes a source of strength, allowing you to outlast their negativity without being affected by it. In many cases, silence can also be a way to outsmart toxic individuals. Negative people often rely on manipulation or provocation to control others, but by staying silent, you deny them the opportunity to manipulate you. This refusal to engage often frustrates them, as they realize their usual tactics no longer work. Over time, they may even stop trying to manipulate you, as they no longer receive the emotional reaction they seek. Finally, silence is a way to protect your own happiness when dealing with negative people. Toxic individuals often try to bring others down to their level, spreading their negativity in an attempt to make others feel as miserable as they do. But Stoicism teaches that happiness is a choice, and silence helps you to protect that choice. By staying quiet, you refuse to let their negativity influence your own sense of well-being. This silence becomes a powerful tool for maintaining your happiness and peace of mind, even in the face of toxic behavior. As we reflect on how silence protects you from toxic individuals, it's equally important to understand that silence is not just about self-preservation, it is also a tool for connection. One of the most powerful aspects of silence is its ability to deepen relationships. The art of listening, which Stoicism emphasizes, is often overshadowed by the desire to be heard. But when you shift your focus from speaking to truly listening and observing, your relationships naturally become richer, more meaningful, and more grounded in mutual respect. Listening is not passive. It is an active choice that requires focus and presence. While silence may seem like a lack of action, it is actually a powerful way to engage. By staying quiet and allowing others to speak without interruption, you offer them the space to express themselves fully. In this space, understanding is born. People feel valued when they know they are being truly heard, and this creates a foundation for trust and emotional intimacy. The simple act of listening without the urge to respond immediately is a rare and valuable gift in today's fast-paced world. Many conversations are filled with interruptions, with people rushing to offer their own opinions or advice. But when you stay silent and give someone your full attention, you show that their words matter. This builds a deeper connection, as they recognize that you are not just waiting for your turn to speak, but are genuinely interested in their thoughts and feelings. Silence during conversations allows you to gather more information, not just about what is being said, but about what is not being said. People communicate through more than just words. Body language, tone, and pauses reveal much about a person's emotional state. By staying quiet and observing, you pick up on these subtle cues, gaining a deeper understanding of the person in front of you. This awareness helps you to respond with greater empathy and insight. One of the most overlooked benefits of listening is that it reduces misunderstandings. When people feel rushed or unheard, they may not communicate clearly, leading to confusion or conflict. But when you take the time to listen deeply, you are more likely to grasp the full meaning of their words. Silence gives you the opportunity to ask thoughtful questions that clarify any points of confusion, ensuring that both parties are on the same page. Listening also fosters patience, a key principle in Stoicism. It can be tempting to jump in with your own thoughts, especially if you disagree with what is being said. But by practicing silence, you learn to hold back, giving the other person space to finish their thoughts. This patience not only makes you a better listener, but also helps to keep the conversation calm and constructive, even when there are disagreements. In relationships, silence can be a form of respect. When you allow someone to speak without cutting them off or steering the conversation toward your own experiences, you show that you respect their voice and their perspective. This respect creates a sense of equality in the relationship, where both parties feel heard and valued. Over time, this mutual respect strengthens the bond between you, leading to a more harmonious and balanced connection. Silence also teaches you the value of humility in conversations. Often, we are quick to share our opinions or advice, believing that we have the answers. But Stoicism reminds us that we do not always know best. By staying quiet and listening, you open yourself up to learning from others. This humility allows for greater growth, as you recognize that every person you meet has something valuable to teach you, if you are willing to listen. Listening without judgment is another powerful aspect of silence. Many people hesitate to open up because they fear being judged or misunderstood. But when you practice silent listening, you create a safe space for them to express themselves freely. This non-judgmental listening builds trust, as they realize they can be vulnerable with you without fear of criticism. Over time, this trust deepens the relationship, creating a solid foundation of emotional safety. Silence also allows you to be fully present in the moment. Too often, we are distracted during conversations, either by our own thoughts or by external factors. But when you practice silent listening, you ground yourself in the present moment, giving the other person your undivided attention. This presence is felt, even if unspoken, and it creates a sense of closeness that strengthens the relationship. In relationships, silence can also be a way to offer support. When someone is going through a difficult time, they may not need advice or solutions. They simply need someone to listen. By staying quiet and allowing them to express their emotions, you offer them the gift of your presence. This silent support can be more powerful than any words, as it shows that you are there for them without trying to fix their problems. One of the key benefits of silent listening is that it encourages others to share more deeply. When people feel heard, they are more likely to open up about their thoughts, feelings, and experiences. This openness leads to more meaningful conversations, where both parties can connect on a deeper level. Silence, in this way, acts as an invitation for others to be more vulnerable and authentic with you. By practicing silence in conversations, you also become more attuned to your own reactions. Instead of immediately jumping in with your thoughts or opinions, you give yourself the space to reflect on what is being said. This reflection allows you to respond more thoughtfully rather than reacting impulsively. Over time, this leads to more constructive and productive conversations where both parties feel heard and understood. Silent listening also fosters empathy. When you allow someone to speak without interruption, you give yourself the opportunity to truly step into their shoes and see the world from their perspective. This empathy helps you to connect with them on a deeper level as you begin to understand their feelings, challenges, and motivations. In this way, silence becomes a bridge that connects you to others in a more meaningful way. In relationships, silence can also be a way to de-escalate tension. When emotions run high, it can be tempting to respond quickly, often escalating the conflict. But by staying quiet and listening, you create space for the other person to express their feelings without interruption. This space allows emotions to cool, making it easier to find a resolution without resorting to argument. Silence, in this way, becomes a tool for maintaining peace in relationships. Listening without the need to respond also helps you to avoid misunderstandings. Often, conflicts arise because one person feels misunderstood or unheard. But when you practice silent listening, you give the other person the chance to fully explain themselves. This deeper understanding helps to prevent miscommunication, allowing both parties to feel more connected and aligned. Silence in conversations also encourages others to reflect on their own words. When someone is speaking and you remain quiet, they are often prompted to think more deeply about what they are saying. This self-reflection can lead to greater clarity and insight, both for them and for you. In this way, silence acts as a mirror, helping others to see their own thoughts more clearly. In relationships, silence can also be a way to show patience and understanding. Not everyone expresses themselves easily, and some people need more time to find the right words. By staying quiet and giving them the space to articulate their thoughts, you show that you are willing to wait for them to express themselves fully. This patience creates a sense of safety and support, strengthening the bond between you. Silent listening also helps you to become more aware of your own assumptions and biases. Often, we enter conversations with preconceived notions about what the other person is thinking or feeling. But when you stay quiet and truly listen, you give yourself the chance to challenge these assumptions. This openness allows for more authentic communication, where both parties can engage with each other without the filter of judgment or bias. Silence also fosters a sense of mindfulness in conversations. By staying quiet and focusing on the other person's words, you become more aware of the present moment. This mindfulness helps you to stay grounded, preventing you from getting caught up in distractions or irrelevant thoughts. Over time, this practice of mindful listening deepens your connections with others, as they feel your full presence in every conversation. One of the most powerful aspects of silence is that it creates space for deeper understanding. When you allow someone to speak without interruption, you give yourself the opportunity to see beyond their words and into their emotions. This deeper understanding helps to build stronger, more meaningful relationships, where both parties feel truly connected and valued. Silent listening also teaches you the value of restraint. It can be tempting to offer advice or solutions during a conversation, but often people simply want to be heard. By staying quiet and refraining from offering unsolicited advice, you show that you respect their ability to find their own answers. This restraint fosters a sense of autonomy and empowerment in the other person, strengthening the relationship. In relationships, silence can also be a way to offer comfort. When someone is going through a difficult time, they may not need words. They may simply need someone to be there with them. By staying quiet and offering your presence, you provide them with a sense of support and solidarity. This silent companionship can be incredibly healing, as it shows that you are there for them without the need for explanations or solutions. Silent listening also helps you to build trust in relationships. When people feel heard without judgment or interruption, they are more likely to open up and share their true selves. This openness creates a foundation of trust, where both parties feel safe to express their thoughts and feelings without fear of rejection or criticism. Over time, this trust deepens the connection, leading to a more fulfilling and supportive relationship. Silence also teaches you the value of observation in relationships. By staying quiet and observing the other person's behavior, body language, and tone, you gain valuable insights into their emotional state. This observation helps you to respond with greater empathy and understanding, creating a more harmonious and supportive relationship. Silent listening also encourages others to take responsibility for their own emotions and actions. When people are met with silence, they are often prompted to reflect on their own words and behavior. This self-reflection can lead to greater accountability as they begin to recognize the impact of their actions on the relationship. In this way, silence becomes a tool for fostering personal growth and maturity in relationships. In relationships, silence can also be a way to create space for healing. When conflicts arise, it can be tempting to immediately try to resolve the issue through words. But sometimes, the best way to heal is to simply give each other space. By staying quiet and allowing the other person time to process their emotions, you create a sense of respect and understanding that fosters healing and reconciliation. Silent listening also helps you to become more present in your relationships. When you practice staying quiet and fully engaging with the other person, you create a sense of connection that goes beyond words. This presence helps to build stronger, more meaningful relationships, where both parties feel truly seen and heard. In relationships, silence can also be a way to show that you are truly listening, not just waiting for your turn to speak. By staying quiet and giving the other person your full attention, you show that you value their words and their perspective. This respect fosters a deeper connection, where both parties feel heard, understood, and valued. Silent listening also helps you to avoid reactive communication. Often, when we feel attacked or misunderstood, we react defensively, escalating the conflict. But by staying quiet and allowing the other person to express themselves fully, you create space for a more thoughtful and constructive response. This leads to more productive conversations, where both parties feel heard and respected. In relationships, silence can also be a way to honor the other person's emotions. Sometimes, people just need to vent or express their feelings without being interrupted or judged. By staying quiet and offering your presence, you create a safe space for them to release their emotions. This silent support helps to strengthen the relationship as they feel seen, heard, and validated. Finally, silence is a way to cultivate deeper empathy in relationships. When you practice silent listening, you give yourself the opportunity to truly understand the other person's perspective. This empathy helps to build stronger, more meaningful connections, where both parties feel understood and supported. Through the power of silence, you can create relationships that are grounded in trust, respect, and mutual understanding, allowing both you and the other person to thrive. As we have seen, silence is a powerful tool for building better relationships by fostering deeper listening and understanding. But there's another aspect of silence that is equally important: the silence within. Controlling the dialogue that happens inside your mind is just as critical as the conversations you have with others. Our inner world, filled with constant thoughts, worries, and doubts, can become a source of anxiety and negativity if left unchecked. Stoicism teaches that by practicing inner silence, you can gain control over these thoughts and find clarity and peace. In our daily lives, the mind is often bombarded with negative thoughts. These thoughts, when allowed to run unchecked, can affect our mood, our decisions, and our sense of well-being. Practicing inner silence helps you observe these thoughts without reacting to them. By staying quiet in your own mind, you create space between yourself and the negativity, allowing it to pass without pulling you into its spiral. This creates a mental distance that protects your peace and prevents you from being consumed by unnecessary worries. When you embrace silence within, you become more aware of the constant chatter that goes on in your mind. Much of this chatter is repetitive, filled with fears about the future or regrets from the past. Inner silence helps you break the cycle of overthinking, giving you the clarity to focus on the present moment. Instead of allowing your thoughts to drag you in every direction, you learn to gently quiet them, finding stillness in the midst of chaos. This stillness brings a sense of mental calm that is essential for maintaining clarity and focus. Silence also helps you to step back from your thoughts and observe them from a distance. Instead of identifying with every negative thought that crosses your mind, you learn to see them for what they are: temporary, fleeting, and often exaggerated. This ability to detach from your thoughts is key to reducing their power over you. When you can look at your thoughts without being pulled into them, you regain control over your mental state, refusing to let negativity dictate your emotions or actions. Inner silence doesn't mean suppressing your thoughts or pushing them away. Instead, it's about creating a space of non-reactivity. You let the thoughts come and go, but you don't engage with them. This practice of non-attachment is deeply rooted in Stoicism, where the focus is on accepting things as they are without judgment. By practicing inner silence, you stop giving unnecessary attention to negative thoughts, allowing them to fade on their own. The mind is like a river, constantly flowing with thoughts and emotions. When you practice inner silence, it's like stepping onto the riverbank, watching the flow without being carried away by it. This perspective allows you to maintain mental clarity even when life becomes overwhelming. Instead of being swept away by your thoughts, you remain grounded, observing the flow without letting it dictate your feelings or actions. This detachment brings a sense of freedom and control that is essential for navigating life's challenges. One of the most powerful effects of inner silence is the way it reduces the intensity of negative emotions. When you stop feeding your negative thoughts with constant attention, they lose their grip on you. Anger, fear, and anxiety become less overwhelming when they are not fueled by mental chatter. Inner silence helps you to process these emotions without becoming consumed by them. You learn to sit with your feelings without letting them take over, creating space for healing and growth. Inner silence also helps to break the cycle of self-criticism. Many of us are our own harshest critics, constantly judging ourselves for not being good enough or for making mistakes. But when you practice silence within, you create distance from this critical voice. You recognize that these judgments are just thoughts, not truths. This recognition allows you to let go of self-judgment and embrace self-compassion. Silence becomes a way to nurture a kinder, more supportive inner dialogue. Through inner silence, you also learn to question the validity of your thoughts. Not every thought that crosses your mind is true or useful. Many are simply echoes of past experiences or fears projected onto the future. By staying quiet and observing these thoughts, you can ask yourself whether they are helping or harming you. This practice helps you to filter out the negative, unproductive thoughts and focus on what truly matters, bringing greater clarity and purpose to your mental life. Mindfulness and inner silence go hand in hand. By staying present in the moment and observing your thoughts without judgment, you cultivate a sense of mindfulness that keeps you grounded. Instead of being lost in worries about the past or future, you stay connected to the present, where peace and clarity reside. This mindful silence helps you to maintain a sense of balance, even in the face of life's challenges. Inner silence also creates the mental space needed for problem solving. When your mind is cluttered with negative thoughts, it becomes difficult to think clearly or make decisions. But when you practice silence, you quiet the noise and create room for insight. This clarity allows you to approach problems with a calm, focused mind, finding solutions more easily and effectively. Silence, in this way, becomes a source of mental strength. By practicing inner silence, you also gain a deeper understanding of your own mind. You begin to recognize the patterns of thought that lead to negativity or anxiety, and you learn to interrupt these patterns before they take hold. This self-awareness is key to managing your mental state, as it gives you the power to choose how you respond to your thoughts. Instead of reacting automatically, you pause, reflect, and choose a response that aligns with your values and goals. The practice of inner silence also helps you to develop greater patience with yourself and others. When you quiet the constant stream of thoughts, you become less reactive and more reflective. This patience allows you to approach challenges with a calm, measured mindset, rather than rushing to react out of fear or frustration. Over time, this practice helps you to cultivate a more balanced, centered approach to life. Through silence, you also learn to embrace the unknown. Many of our negative thoughts stem from a fear of uncertainty or a need for control. But inner silence teaches you to let go of this need for certainty and trust in the flow of life. By staying quiet and allowing things to unfold naturally, you reduce the anxiety that comes from trying to control the uncontrollable. This acceptance of uncertainty brings a sense of peace and freedom that is deeply rooted in Stoic philosophy. Inner silence is also a way to build resilience. Life is full of challenges, and the mind often reacts with worry or fear when faced with uncertainty. But by practicing silence, you create a space within yourself that remains calm and steady, no matter what is happening externally. This inner calm gives you the strength to weather life's storms without being overwhelmed by them. Silence becomes your anchor, keeping you grounded even in the face of adversity. In moments of stress or anxiety, inner silence helps you to regain control over your emotions. Instead of letting your thoughts spiral into panic, you pause and create space for stillness. This stillness allows you to observe your emotions without being consumed by them, giving you the clarity to respond from a place of calm. Over time, this practice helps to reduce the intensity of stress and anxiety, allowing you to navigate difficult situations with greater ease. The more you practice inner silence, the more you begin to notice the subtle ways in which your thoughts influence your emotions. Negative thoughts create negative feelings, while positive or neutral thoughts create a sense of calm and well-being. By staying quiet and observing your thoughts, you become more intentional about the kind of mental environment you are creating. This awareness allows you to cultivate a more positive, supportive inner dialogue that nourishes your mental and emotional health. Silence also helps you to break free from the habit of rumination. When faced with a problem or worry, the mind often loops endlessly around the issue, replaying the same thoughts over and over again. But this mental repetition only serves to increase anxiety and stress. Inner silence interrupts this cycle, giving you the space to step back from the problem and approach it with fresh eyes. This break in the mental loop allows for new insights and solutions to emerge, reducing the mental strain of overthinking. Through silence, you also learn to trust yourself more. Negative thoughts often stem from self-doubt or a lack of confidence in your own abilities. But by practicing inner stillness, you create space to connect with your inner wisdom. This connection strengthens your self-trust as you begin to recognize that you have the inner resources to handle whatever challenges come your way. Silence in this way becomes a path to greater self-confidence and empowerment. Inner silence also helps you to stay focused on your goals. The mind is easily distracted by worries, doubts, or external pressures, pulling you away from what truly matters. But when you practice silence, you quiet these distractions and stay centered on your purpose. This focus allows you to move forward with clarity and determination, making progress toward your goals without being sidetracked by negativity or fear. The practice of silence also teaches you to let go of the need for constant mental activity. In a world that values productivity and busyness, it can be difficult to quiet the mind and simply be still. But inner silence reminds you that peace and clarity come not from constant thinking, but from allowing yourself to rest in stillness. This rest is essential for mental clarity, as it gives your mind the space it needs to recharge and reset. Silence also creates room for creativity to flourish. When your mind is filled with negative thoughts or constant chatter, it becomes difficult to tap into your creative potential. But by quieting the noise, you create space for new ideas and insights to emerge. This creative flow is nourished by the stillness of inner silence, allowing you to access deeper levels of inspiration and innovation. Through the practice of inner silence, you also develop a greater sense of self-awareness. You become more attuned to the patterns of thought that influence your emotions and actions, allowing you to make more intentional choices. This awareness helps you to break free from old habits or negative thinking patterns, creating space for growth and transformation. Inner silence also helps you to cultivate gratitude. When you quiet the mind, you create space to appreciate the present moment and the simple joys of life. This appreciation helps to counterbalance the negativity that often fills our minds, replacing it with a sense of contentment and peace. Over time, this practice of gratitude becomes a natural part of your inner dialogue, creating a more positive and fulfilling mental environment. Silence is also a way to practice acceptance. Negative thoughts often arise from a resistance to what is, whether it's a situation, a feeling, or an outcome. But by practicing inner silence, you create space to accept things as they are, without the need to change or control them. This acceptance brings a sense of peace, as you learn to let go of the struggle and embrace the present moment with openness and grace. Through inner silence, you also develop a greater sense of patience. The mind often rushes from one thought to the next, seeking instant solutions or immediate gratification. But silence teaches you to slow down and be patient with yourself and with life. This patience allows you to approach challenges with a calm, steady mindset, trusting that clarity and solutions will come in their own time. Silence also helps you to cultivate compassion, both for yourself and for others. When you quiet the critical voice in your mind, you create space for kindness and understanding. This compassion helps to soften the harsh judgments we often place on ourselves and others, creating a more gentle and supportive inner dialogue. Over time, this practice of compassion extends outward, allowing you to approach others with greater empathy and kindness. In moments of uncertainty or fear, inner silence becomes a source of strength. When the mind is filled with doubt or anxiety, it can be difficult to find clarity or make decisions. But by practicing silence, you create space for stillness and reflection. This stillness helps you to reconnect with your inner wisdom, giving you the strength and confidence to move forward, even in the face of uncertainty. The practice of inner silence also helps you to develop greater emotional resilience. Life is full of challenges and setbacks, and the mind often reacts with frustration or despair when things don't go as planned. But by staying quiet and observing your thoughts without reacting, you build the emotional strength to handle difficulties with grace. This resilience allows you to navigate life's ups and downs without being overwhelmed by negativity. Through inner silence, you also learn to trust the process of life. Negative thoughts often arise from a need to control outcomes or avoid uncertainty. But by practicing silence, you let go of the need for control and embrace the flow of life as it unfolds. This trust in the process brings a sense of peace and freedom, allowing you to navigate challenges with greater ease and confidence. Silence also helps you to cultivate a deeper connection with yourself. When you quiet the noise of the outside world and turn inward, you create space to listen to your own inner voice. This connection strengthens your sense of self-awareness and self-trust, allowing you to live in alignment with your true values and desires. Through the practice of inner silence, you also develop a greater sense of mental clarity. When the mind is filled with constant chatter, it becomes difficult to think clearly or make decisions. But silence quiets the noise, creating space for clarity and insight. This clarity helps you to approach challenges with a calm, focused mind, allowing you to make decisions from a place of wisdom and understanding. Inner silence also helps you to cultivate a sense of inner peace. Negative thoughts and worries often create a sense of inner turmoil, making it difficult to feel calm or centered. But by practicing silence, you quiet the mental noise and create space for peace to emerge. This peace becomes a source of strength, allowing you to navigate life's challenges with grace and resilience. Through inner silence, you also develop a greater sense of presence. The mind often pulls you into the past or future, creating a sense of worry or regret. But silence anchors you in the present moment, allowing you to fully engage with life as it unfolds. This presence brings a sense of peace and fulfillment as you learn to appreciate the beauty and simplicity of the here and now. Finally, inner silence is a way to cultivate a deeper sense of purpose. When the mind is filled with distractions or negativity, it becomes difficult to stay connected to your true values and goals. But by practicing silence, you quiet the noise and reconnect with your deeper purpose. This connection helps you to stay focused on what truly matters, allowing you to live a life that is aligned with your values and aspirations. Through inner silence, you find the clarity, peace, and strength to navigate life with wisdom, grace, and purpose. As we've explored the profound impact of inner silence and how it shapes clarity and mental peace, it's important to understand how this silence translates to outer moments of conflict. When emotions run high and tempers flare, staying quiet can often be misinterpreted as weakness. However, Stoicism teaches us that silence in these moments is not about giving up. It's about demonstrating a level of control and strength that many fail to reach. True power lies in the ability to remain calm and composed in the face of provocation, revealing not vulnerability, but immense self-discipline. In moments of heated conflict, the impulse to defend, argue, or lash out can be overwhelming. But words spoken in anger are rarely productive. They often fuel the fire rather than extinguish it. Choosing silence in these moments shows you are not ruled by your emotions. You maintain your composure, preventing the situation from escalating further. This restraint is a powerful form of strength, as it shows mastery over your own reactions. Silence during conflict allows you to avoid saying things you'll later regret. It's easy to let frustration take over, leading to sharp, hurtful words that can't be taken back. But when you pause and remain silent, you create space for reflection. This space is critical for keeping the peace, both within yourself and with others. Silence becomes a shield that protects not just your own integrity, but also the relationship. In heated moments, silence offers you a chance to observe. You can assess the situation without the pressure to respond immediately. By staying quiet, you gather valuable insights about the other person's emotions, motives, and vulnerabilities. This understanding helps you respond in a way that is thoughtful and constructive, rather than reactive. Silence in this way becomes a tool for navigating conflict with wisdom rather than impulse. Many people equate silence with submission, but Stoicism teaches that remaining quiet during conflict is an act of strength. It shows that you are in control of yourself and do not need to prove your worth through argument or aggression. True strength comes from knowing that you don't have to win every battle. You can walk away with your dignity intact, refusing to engage in unnecessary drama. Silence becomes a sign of inner confidence. Remaining silent in stressful moments also gives the other person a chance to calm down. When both parties are emotionally charged, conflict tends to spiral out of control. But when one person chooses silence, it can de-escalate the situation, creating a moment for tempers to cool. This space allows for more productive communication once emotions have settled, making it easier to find a resolution. Silence, then, becomes a way to foster peace. In moments of conflict, silence also gives you the opportunity to control your own narrative. Instead of letting the heat of the moment define who you are or how you respond, staying quiet allows you to maintain your sense of self. You are not swayed by the opinions or provocations of others, and you refuse to let your emotions dictate your actions. This self-control is a powerful demonstration of your inner strength and resilience. When emotions are high, silence can feel uncomfortable. The urge to speak out and defend yourself is strong, but true strength lies in resisting this urge. By choosing silence, you show that you are not controlled by your emotions or by the pressure of the situation. You stand firm in your calmness, allowing the storm to pass without being swept up in it. This ability to remain silent in the face of chaos shows a deep sense of self-discipline. Silence in heated moments also prevents the conflict from spiraling into something much larger. Arguments often escalate because both parties feel the need to have the last word. But when you stay quiet, you break this cycle, refusing to contribute to the escalation. This restraint helps to keep the situation manageable, preventing it from growing into a bigger issue than it needs to be. Silence, in this way, becomes a form of damage control. Stoicism teaches that silence is a way to preserve your peace. Engaging in every conflict or argument only drains your emotional energy, leaving you feeling exhausted and frustrated. But when you choose to stay quiet, you conserve your energy for the things that truly matter. You protect your inner calm by not allowing external chaos to disrupt your sense of peace. This ability to remain centered in the face of conflict is a testament to your strength. By staying silent in moments of conflict, you also set an example for others. You show that it is possible to navigate difficult situations without resorting to anger or aggression. This calmness can inspire those around you to adopt a more measured approach to conflict, leading to more constructive and peaceful interactions. Silence, then, becomes a way to lead by example, demonstrating the power of self-control. Silence in heated moments is also a way to protect the relationship. Arguments, when fueled by anger, can cause lasting damage to even the strongest relationships. But by choosing not to engage in the heat of the moment, you prevent unnecessary harm from being done. This restraint shows that you value the relationship more than the need to be right. Over time, this practice of silence strengthens the bond, fostering trust and respect. In the heat of conflict, it's easy to become consumed by the need to defend your position. But Stoicism teaches that true strength comes from letting go of the need to always be right. By staying quiet, you release the desire to control the outcome of the argument. This surrender is not a sign of weakness, but of wisdom. It shows that you understand the bigger picture and are willing to prioritize peace over pride. Remaining silent in moments of stress also helps you to stay connected to your values. When emotions run high, it's easy to act in ways that don't align with who you truly are. But silence gives you the space to reflect on your actions before you take them. This reflection helps you to respond in a way that is consistent with your values, ensuring that you remain true to yourself, even in the face of conflict. In moments of conflict, silence can be a form of self-respect. By choosing not to engage in petty arguments or drama, you show that you value your own peace and well-being. You refuse to let others pull you into their emotional chaos, maintaining your dignity and composure. This self-respect is a powerful form of strength, as it shows that you are in control of your own actions and emotions. Silence during heated moments also helps you to avoid becoming reactive. When emotions are high, it's easy to react impulsively, saying or doing things that you later regret. But by staying quiet, you give yourself the time to process your emotions and think before you act. This thoughtful approach helps you to respond in a way that is calm and measured, reducing the likelihood of making rash decisions. In stressful situations, silence allows you to stay focused on the bigger picture. Arguments often become about winning or proving a point, but this short-term victory can come at the cost of long-term peace. By choosing silence, you remind yourself that the goal is not to win the argument, but to maintain harmony. This perspective helps you to prioritize what truly matters, keeping the conflict in context and preventing it from consuming your energy. Silence also helps you to avoid getting caught up in the emotions of others. In moments of conflict, people often project their emotions onto those around them, trying to pull others into their emotional state. But by staying quiet, you create a boundary between yourself and their emotions. This boundary protects your own emotional state, allowing you to remain calm and composed, even when others are not. In heated moments, silence can also be a way to protect your mental clarity. When emotions run high, it's easy to become overwhelmed and lose sight of what's important. But by staying quiet, you create space for reflection and clarity. This clarity allows you to stay focused on your goals and values, even in the midst of conflict, ensuring that you remain grounded and true to yourself. Remaining silent in moments of stress also helps you to cultivate patience. Conflict often arises when people are too quick to react, without taking the time to fully understand the situation. But silence gives you the opportunity to observe and reflect before responding. This patience allows you to approach the situation with greater wisdom, ensuring that your actions are thoughtful and measured. Silence in heated moments is also a way to protect your emotional energy. Engaging in arguments or conflicts can be emotionally draining, leaving you feeling exhausted and overwhelmed. But by choosing to stay quiet, you conserve your energy for the things that truly matter. This preservation of energy allows you to maintain your emotional well-being, even in the face of stress. By practicing silence in moments of conflict, you also strengthen your self-discipline. It takes a great deal of restraint to hold back when emotions are high, but this restraint is a sign of true strength. Over time, this practice of self-discipline helps you to become more resilient, allowing you to navigate stressful situations with greater ease and control. Silence during conflict also gives you the opportunity to reflect on the other person's perspective. When emotions are high, it's easy to become focused on your own point of view, without considering the other person's feelings or experiences. But by staying quiet, you create space to listen and understand. This understanding helps to foster empathy, allowing for a more compassionate and constructive resolution to the conflict. In moments of stress, silence can also be a way to protect your physical health. Arguments and conflicts often lead to a rise in stress levels, which can take a toll on your body over time. But by choosing to stay quiet, you reduce the physical impact of stress, allowing your body to remain calm and balanced. This practice of silence not only protects your emotional well-being, but also promotes physical health and longevity. Silence in heated moments also helps you to avoid making the situation worse. When emotions are high, it's easy to say or do things that escalate the conflict, making it more difficult to resolve. But by staying quiet, you prevent the situation from spiraling out of control. This restraint helps to keep the conflict manageable, ensuring that it can be resolved more easily. In conflict, silence can also be a way to demonstrate respect for the other person. By staying quiet and allowing them to express their emotions without interruption, you show that you value their feelings and perspective. This respect fosters a sense of mutual understanding, making it easier to find a resolution that works for both parties. By choosing silence in moments of conflict, you also create space for healing. Arguments often leave emotional wounds that take time to heal, but by staying quiet, you prevent these wounds from deepening. This silence allows both parties to step back and reflect on the situation, creating the space needed for healing and reconciliation. Silence during heated moments also helps you to avoid falling into the trap of blame. In conflict, it's easy to point fingers and assign blame, but this often leads to more conflict and resentment. By staying quiet, you avoid getting caught up in the blame game, allowing for a more constructive and solution-focused conversation. In moments of stress, silence also allows you to maintain your composure. Conflict often leads to heightened emotions, making it difficult to stay calm and centered. But by choosing silence, you create space for stillness, allowing you to remain composed and in control of your emotions. Finally, silence in moments of conflict shows that you are not ruled by your ego. The need to defend yourself or prove your point often comes from a place of ego, but by staying quiet, you demonstrate that you are not driven by this need. Instead, you prioritize peace, self-control, and wisdom, showing true strength in the face of conflict. Through silence, you find the power to rise above the chaos and maintain your inner calm, no matter what life throws your way. In life, knowing when to speak and when to stay silent is one of the most powerful skills you can master. From avoiding unnecessary conflicts to preserving your peace and controlling your inner dialogue, silence can be your greatest ally. By embracing Stoic wisdom, you can navigate through challenging situations with strength, clarity, and self-control. Sometimes, the greatest impact you can make is by saying nothing at all. If you found this video helpful, drop a comment below and share a moment when staying silent saved you from unnecessary stress or conflict. I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences. And of course, if you're ready for more powerful insights like these, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss a video. Stay grounded, stay silent when needed, and keep growing.